the college basketball season just 10 days away, the legal wrangling over Gonzaga's Tyon Grant-Foster's eligibility continues. We'll break down what happened in court today.
We're under a KREM 2 weather impact alert. We have a lot of rain, a lot of wind, and a lot of mountain snow in the forecast this weekend.
Plus, a week after a deadly shooting near Gonzaga's campus, the suspect's been arrested and faced a judge today. More on the suspect and his alleged motive. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Another shocking twist in Tyon Grant-Foster's eligibility case against the NCAA today as the motion to transfer Grant-Foster's case to federal court was denied. KREM 2 Sports Director Andrew Quinn has been covering this case since the very beginning. He has the latest developments tonight. Andrew?
Yeah, good evening, Mark. After the NCAA delayed Grant-Foster's injunction hearing yesterday by making a motion to move the case to U.S. District Court, today it appears Grant-Foster will finally have his case heard in Spokane County Court. District Court Judge Thomas Rice read the NCAA's motion and the emergency motion by Grant-Foster's legal team to remand the case back to state court. Rice determined the NCAA did not meet the Grable test by challenging a federal issue or requiring a resolution of a federal question. Therefore, the motion was inadequate to justify federal court jurisdiction, and the case was remanded back to Superior Court, and Grant-Foster will finally have his injunction hearing on Monday in front of Judge Marla Poland. KREM 2 was the first to report that Grant-Foster's hearing will take place at 2:30 p.m. on Monday. Mark?
All right, Andrew, so if the court rules in Grant-Foster's favor, where does the case go from there? And will he be eligible to play in Gonzaga's upcoming season opener?
Yeah, Mark, if Judge Poland grants this injunction, Grant-Foster will be immediately eligible to play. And the Zags host Western Oregon in an exhibition game on Monday night at 6 p.m. So a sprint from one court to another may be a possibility for the Gonzaga guard. But if this case has taught us anything so far, it is to expect the unexpected.
Yeah, certainly so. Andrew Quinn with the very latest on this evolving situation. Andrew, thank you. Well, we are in a KREM 2 weather impact alert for wind and rain heading to our area. Let's get right outside to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo. Jeremy, kind of difficult to talk about wind and rain heading our way when it looks so nice right now outside.
Mark, I'm telling you, it's a beautiful evening and temperatures are on the mild side and in a pretty big way. 62 degrees is where we currently sit. 62 and not a breath of wind, but it is all headed our way, including some snow over the Cascades and in our mountains. But that is going to creep down later this weekend. For now, let's talk this evening. We're under wind advisories. Those, to me, I think tomorrow's a bigger deal than today. Wind is going to pick up this evening, and it does get breezy. We've already seen some gusts get a little bit stronger out in Yakima as our frontal boundary starts to creep its way in. Remember, rain happens out ahead of the front itself. We'll see everything arrive here in the 7 or 8 o'clock hour. It moves through and overnight wind dies back down. Tomorrow, we'll wake up to a few scattered light showers, but by midday tomorrow, we have some seriously heavy rain, some seriously strong wind hitting tomorrow afternoon, and then a substantial drop in temperatures heading into next week. Tomorrow, we're under that KREM 2 weather impact alert because tomorrow actually is going to be rainier and it actually is going to be windy. Tonight does wind up breezy though, mark my words. 49 by Sunday and staying there on Monday.
All right, sounds good. Jeremy will check back in with you later in the show. In continuing coverage tonight, after a week of searching, police arrested a suspect accused of shooting and killing a man in the Logan neighborhood last week. That suspect faced a judge for the first time today. KREM 2's Christian Garza sat in court today and shares what we know so far. Christian?
Yeah, Mark. Well, tonight the family of Sean Cranford filled the courtroom where it was decided that the court will move forward with first-degree murder as well as first-degree robbery charges against Zachary McGrill in connection to Cranford's death after a shooting that happened near Gonzaga just last week.
According to court documents, back on October 17th, Cranford got into an argument with McGriff and McGriff's nephew over a title of a car bought from the victim. Documents say Cranford tried multiple times to defuse the situation by giving McGriff money and eventually the title. The affidavit goes on to say once the argument became physical, Cranford was shot multiple times. Following the shooting, documents say McGriff and his nephew drove away from the scene in separate cars, one of which was Cranford's. Today, the judge set McGriff's bond at $1.5 million.
Now, court officials say that police are still looking for a second suspect involved in Cranford's death. Now, McGriff is expected to be back in court on October 28th. Now, coming up tonight, we actually hear from Cranford's family. They had a statement at today's hearing. In Spokane, Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
It was a shock, a surprise,
Yeah.
you know, and it's unfortunate circumstances for sure.
I would agree. Yeah, it was kind of it was a shock.
This morning, Shoshone County Commissioners accepted Sheriff Holly Lindsay's resignation. The county's Democratic Committee now has 15 days to submit candidates for the job. For now, Under Sheriff Lance Studsky will take over until the commissioners find a replacement. The commissioner said whoever they appoint will stay in that position until a new sheriff is voted in next November. Lindsay resigned on Wednesday after a hit and run in her personal car while she was off duty. The Kootenai County Sheriff's Office is investigating that crash. KREM 2 is awaiting more details on exactly what happened. Washington State Patrol investigating what led a car to crash into a garbage truck head-on US 2 this morning. WSP telling us it happened at around 11 this morning just outside of Reardon. The crash blocked the highway for about an hour this morning. It's not clear right now how many people are dead or hurt. Washington Governor Bob Ferguson signed an emergency proclamation to fix the overpass that a semi-truck slammed into earlier this week. This means the state can get federal funding to start demolition and repairs. Now, WashDOT crews are tearing down the damaged overpass along I-90 near Cle Elum. The westbound lanes will stay closed for the weekend. They are hoping to get them back open early next week. Traffic is still getting off I-90 at exit 80, then getting back on after the overpass. Governor Ferguson says the repairs will likely cost more than $8 million. He says he wants the trucking company to pay the bill. And here at home, the left lane of eastbound I-90 between Altamont and Sprague will be closed on Sunday. Crews will be sampling the soil near Freya Street for the future North Spokane Corridor I-90 connection. The Freya Street on-ramp to eastbound I-90 will also be closed. Drivers can use the Havana Street on-ramp instead. Right now, Alaska Airlines getting back on its feet after a nationwide IT outage led to sites like this one at the Spokane International Airport. This morning, lines staked through the check-in area at the Alaska counter. In all, that outage lasted about 7 hours. An Alaska spokesperson says the airline was forced to cancel hundreds of flights and delay many more. The impact is far worse at Alaska's main hub in Seattle, where the IT breakdown left hundreds of passengers stranded. The issue affecting everything from flight updates to checked baggage and check-in. Alaska says you should still double-check your flight information before heading to the airport. We still have more news ahead on KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. Colleges and universities across Idaho bracing for budget cuts. We look at how this could impact schools in North Idaho. And new reports show inflation is ticking up. In 7 minutes, how these numbers and the ongoing impacts of the government shutdown are squeezing Americans' wallets. And before we go, a quick programming note. Up with KREM will now be 7 days a week. Starting tomorrow, the newscast will air from 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. It'll stream exclusively on KREM 2 Plus. Just download for free and watch on your TV.